Whatever you want someone to do for you, be the first to do for yourself. Many are caught up with the feeling of not good enough and think something is wrong with them. Sometimes this feeling comes from a place of low self-esteem. When you don't have a sense of self-worth, you put your self-value in the hands of people and you give them the power to validate you, to approve you. So when you don't get that validation you want, you feel you're not good enough. It is your responsibility to validate you, to like you, to accept you before any other person does. No one will value you more than the value placed on yourself. No one will love you more than you love yourself. So stop looking for external validation without internal validation. Because you're going to be somebody else for a very long time if you're obsessed with external validation. Really. Because you end up being a people pleaser. You will do anything to get the validation of people. Saying no becomes a problem. It's always yes, okay, I'll come, okay, I'll do it. It's always yes, yes, yes. Even when you intend to say no. And as a people pleaser, you will not get the joy of living because you're not being yourself. There's no joy in being somebody else. You find fulfillment when you step into yourself. That's what this platform is for. To help you step into the person you are designed to be so you can live a fulfilled life. Okay, now, don't get me wrong. Every one of us wants validation. We want to be accepted, we want to be appreciated. But you have to be the first to do that for yourself. That's how you empower yourself. It empowers you against rejection, judgment, criticism, and people's opinion. If you rely on the validation of people, you give your power away. You give people power to control you, control your mood, control your smile, control your happiness, control how you feel about yourself. If someone thinks you're great, you're great. If they think you're beautiful, you're smart, you're intelligent, you feel good about yourself. And if they disapprove of you and think you're not all that, you feel terrible. So you empower yourself by validating you first. My emphasis is on the word first. Whatever you want someone to do for you, be the first to do for yourself. Love you first. Accept you first. Value you first. So even if nobody validates you, you still feel validated. Because many times we feel like we are not good enough when they disapprove of us. When we get rejected, or when they show somebody else over us, you're like, I'm not good enough for that job. I'm not good enough for that career. I'm not good enough for him. I'm not good enough for her. But the truth is, no matter what we do, no matter how much we develop ourselves, people will not always choose us. Why? Because you're not everybody's cup of tea. People have their preferences. He didn't choose you not because you're not good enough, but because in his opinion, you don't fit into his vision, you don't fit into his preference. And that's fine. Sometimes two people are just not good together. It doesn't mean one person is better than the other. It doesn't mean one person is bad. Okay, now, for example, I love the color white, but there are people out there that don't like that color. Just because they don't like that color does not mean the color is bad, doesn't mean the color is not good enough. They just don't like it, they prefer some other color, and that's fine. Just because you don't fit into someone's preference does not mean you're not good enough. If you're looking for external validation without internal validation, you're always going to feel like you are not good enough. So the goal is to validate you first. Another reason why people feel like they are not good enough is comparison. We compare ourselves to people. Like we go on social media and see beautiful pictures to compare our bodies, our lives, and our relationships with. You're like, oh, they're successful, they're rich, they have kids, they are happy, they have a great relationship, perfect body, and you become unhappy, wishing you had a life of other people. Listen, this beautiful world that the internet created is different from reality. People only show you their highlights, and sometimes it is not real. People may not be as successful as social media make them look. People may not be as pretty as filter make them seem. Sometimes it is a smoke and mirror. Don't be deceived. Don't let the internet rush your process. The only person you should compare yourself with is you. Like, am I growing? Am I making progress? Am I better than the person I was yesterday? See, I'm not the person I was 2 years ago. And I will not be the same person in the next 2 years. I'm growing and evolving into my own woman. Not the person that society wants me to be. I'm in my lane. I own nobody, nothing. I have nothing to prove. I'm competing with no one but myself. God has put me here for a purpose. At the end of the day, He is the only one I have to answer to. Focus on you. Focus on yourself. We all need to grow and evolve into a better version of ourselves. You will never be good enough in your own eyes if you keep comparing yourself to people. Don't compete. Our journeys are not the same. You're good enough. One thing is, when you go through life thinking you're not good enough, you will consciously give people power to set unhealthy standard for you. For example, I've heard people say, he made me bleach my skin because he likes them fair. Your partner has set an unrealistic standard for you, so you try so hard to get there. You try to lose weight, you try to, fix your skin, dress a certain way, behave a certain way, but it's exhausting. It's exhausting because that's not who you are. And at the end of the day, when you've tried your best and still cannot fit into the picture in his head, you feel you're not good enough. Why would you give that much of your power to someone? Just because you're trying to get him to love you, to accept you, you lose yourself in the process. Wait, you're not good enough for him in your skin? You have to change to be somebody else to be good enough for him. How does that sound? Good enough for who? Who gets to dictate that? Who? Accept yourself. When you accept yourself, no one can make you feel inferior. No one can make you feel like you're not good enough. Go fix yourself. See, guys, you have only one life to live. Make sure you're living your life and not someone else's. Any relationship at all that compares you to be somebody else is not healthy for you. Stay away from people that make you doubt your self-worth. People that make you feel less about yourself. Because your good enough is not based on what you have, what you don't have, what you can do, what you cannot do. It's not based on people's opinion of you. It's not even based on how you look. It is based on who you are. Your worth is inherent. When God made you, He blessed you. He blessed you. That's the validation you need. You deserve love and respect. You deserve every good thing that life has got to offer. You're good enough. So, whenever you're doubting yourself, thinking if you're good enough or not, please answer this question. What is the accurate definition of good enough? Who am I not good enough for? What am I not good enough for? And remember, you are the only one that have the power to answer that question. Do not assign that power to nobody.